This is the Reaper 7 from Schecter Guitars, and this thing is monstrous. Let me tell you about it. This is a 7-string guitar that adds a low B string, if you haven't seen one before. It's got multiscale frets. You've probably recognized that as something that's a little bit odd. These multiscale frets allow for the strings to have different lengths between the nut and the bridge, and it's very important for that low B string so that it rings out effectively. So the scale length on the first string here is 25.5 inches, and that increases to the low B string where it's a 27-inch scale length, and that really helps with keeping the tone tight and getting a really good low sound out of that string that's not too muddy. This guitar features an ebony fretboard and a graphite nut. That graphite nut is going to let the strings move in and out more easily, and you don't get weird intonation tuning problems with the tuners up here. As for the pickups, this guitar features the Diamond Decimator pickups, which is a very Schecter name for their, if you see some of their other models of guitars, they really go for that sort of brutal sort of aesthetic. So they kind of look like the Hot Rail pickups, if you've seen those before, that single sort of metal line. I think it looks really good. They also sound really good. We'll get into that later. So the Diamond Decimator pickups are passive, which is great, so you don't have to spend all your money on batteries, and I was a big fan of that myself. Even though they're passive, they are quite hot, and you'll see the tones we can get out of this later. I almost forgot to mention the Diamond Decimator pickups feature a coil split option by pulling this knob out here. Let's see, I'll show that again. So click, there it is. Put it back down for now. So when it's clicked down, you're getting the full humbucker effect. When you pull it out, you're gonna get split coil, which is gonna treat them kind of like single coil pickups to get you some more springy tones, and you'll see how flexible that can be later on. So up at the headstock, you can see all the strings are on one side. All these tuners go along the side here. And so your B string, the low one, is this tuner here, and that comes all the way down where you have your first string here. I think the headstock looks super cool. It's just very, very metal. Very metal. So the strings come all the way through down to the bridge, which is a hardtail bridge. And if I flip this over carefully, you see how the strings come strung through to the back of the guitar here. And then right here, you have your little door to open up, mess around with electronics, if that's what you're into. While we're on the back of the guitar, you can see this nice 5-piece neck that goes right through the body. You don't have any bolts here in the back. It just looks super sleek, and you can see how really beautiful the wood looks on this. And the wood on the front, the top of this is a poplar burl body, so you can see the wood grain here is just super cool. Like, I can't get over it, how cool it looks. And so then they have that charcoal paint finisher on the side that sort of bursts out and looks really cool. If we turn the guitar to the side, you can see how nice and thin that this neck is. And you add the extra string on, right? So of course it's gonna be wider, but honestly, like, it doesn't even feel like it's wider. I know that's like crazy to say, but like it's like I'm just playing a normal 6-string guitar because the neck just feels that good. That's probably like my favorite thing about it, is how good it feels to play. If you're wondering about the multiscale frets and that being weird when you're playing, you'll see I'm gonna demonstrate some things later that have like power chords in the tone test section. But really, don't be afraid of the multiscale frets. I literally haven't had to think about doing anything differently. Like, you'll make your power chord, and you're not gonna make your fingers parallel with the fan frets. You're gonna pretty much just put them down normally, and as long as you're not getting any buzzing, you're gonna be able to adjust pretty quickly. So if you're looking at a fan fret instrument, I think the pros definitely outweigh the very slight adjustments you have to make. So now in the tone test, I'm going to be doing one riff, and then I'm going to try it in each of these different positions here. So we're going to start in the first position, which is just the neck, and we're going to be starting off fully active humbucker mode. Before we get into the tone test, guys, if you're enjoying the video, you like what you see so far, you're interested in maybe catching some other videos in the future, please go down, hit that like button, and hit that subscribe button so it helps out the channel for the future. Okay, so here's the tone test. And the verdict is, this thing is amazing. Guys, I honestly never thought I'd own a guitar that is actually this cool. I mean, just look at it. The natural wood grain being enhanced by this sort of outer shadow thing, it's just so cool. It feels like a dream to play. You don't even have to try, really. I really like the sounds you can get. For the clean tones that I just demonstrated, I'm not sold on my own end when I'm doing clean tones on my Pod Go. So if you weren't so sure about the clean tones you heard, try one out for yourself, on your own rig with the clean tones you like. But I'm really a big fan of all the tones that I can get on this thing, and I got to do some more workshopping on my own end, on my own pedal. This guitar is extremely flexible, so you get those heavy chugging tones on the B string that you saw. But then also, me playing that little funky riff at the end there, that comes out really nice and springy, especially when you engage the split coil. That can get you some really, different tones instead of just, sinking into the metal scene, where this guitar, really sort of excels at. The only real con I have with the guitar is, and it's a small one, and I don't even think you might consider it a con, but these pickups are quite hot. I do have the volume and the tone on the guitar. I have these maxed out. That's just how I dial in my tones. So you can, cut those down to half maybe and give yourself some headroom, which is nice to do when you're live. But like the gain on my Focusrite right now, my gain knob is all the way down. So I think that's a good thing for me personally, just because I like to have that extra room. If I need to push a sound, you have flexibility in that way. So guys, this is the Schecter Reaper 7, and it might be my new favorite guitar. If you're in the market for a 7-string guitar, I couldn't recommend this enough. So if you're thinking about buying it, just get it. You're not going to regret it. This guitar will treat you well.